Hello, my name is Mark John, and I want to welcome you to Family and Love Center. The topic we'll be discussing today is marriage and love. Before I do that, I want to fully introduce myself. I live in Arua, Uganda, and I am married to my lovely wife, Judith. She's from Germany. We are here serving as a volunteers under Mission Foundation 25. So we do a lot of empowerment projects among the youth, children, and families. Today, I'll be hosting this program, and the person that is co-hosting with me is
Pastor Benjamin, and I live here in Uganda, and particularly in Arua, West Nile.
love and marriage. That is our topic today. The reason why we choose this topic is because we've been doing this program for a while in Nile FM in our city, which is known as Arua. And we do that every Saturday by 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning. And we get a lot of calls from people, and we get to discuss a lot of issues. And you get to see people talk about love. But the question I want to post here, that is, what is love? What is love? And what are the different kinds of love? I turn to my co-host to say something about that. What is love?
Well, thank you so much. There's that question many people struggle to define what love is. And, it's very important to understand this love, what love is. And I want to say something brief about love. Love is selfless. Love is giving yourself to somebody, and love is all about being selfless. It's not about you, but it's about what you do for other people. Yes, briefly, that's what I can say.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, you see, when we talk about love, you have to be we have to be very clear the kind of love we're talking about here.
Yes.
And what kind of love? Because we know that love can be broken into four different categories. The first kind of love I want us to discuss about is agape love, the unconditional love. Because this unconditional love is loving a person without any expectation, loving the person without any kind of conditions. So if you're loving somebody unconditionally, which is the God kind of love, it doesn't matter the looks of the person, it doesn't matter how you feel about the person, but it's just love. You just love the person. So does that really exist in a marriage? That is the question I would like to ask my co-host again. Does that kind of love truly exist in a marriage?
Many times when we talk about agape love, we see that we face so many challenges there. In which way? Some people misinterpret love, the agape love itself. And, in families, there are few families that have that kind of love, which is agape love. But other families find it difficult to love someone unconditionally, selflessly. You choose to love someone, and the person may seem not to deserve. So in families, in few families, you find agape love. In some families, you will not find it.
Okay. Agape love, does it exist in a marriage?
It's a very good question. Yes.
Yeah. Does agape love exist in a marriage?
Many times, no. Many times.
Yeah, but you have to give me a very good reason why you said no to that. Yeah.
Yeah, because why I say no is because agape love means unconditional love, selfless love. So you find that when somebody, mostly in the family setup, you choose to love, but not unconditionally. There are conditions and expectations that people have in marriages. That's why I say no. Why? Because if challenges arise, people tend to give up. Yet, agape itself means unconditional love. So you find that many people in many marriages, that's why I say no, you find that you love somebody because of something, not because you choose to love the person unconditionally, as God did, loved us unconditionally.
You mentioned something about expectation when you were speaking, but I look at love this way. Love, I will put it in this term, that love is a decision to commit to another person without having an expectation in returns. You are committing yourself to love somebody without any expectation in returns. And I would like to look at it in the other way around, whereby people come into a marriage and they have a lot of expectation.
Yeah.
And if that expectation is not well communicated, it leads to what? Divorce and separation.
Yes.
So it is good that people, when you are in love with somebody, please try and be able to do what? Communicate every expectation you are having before going into that relationship or going into that marriage. Because most people that fall in love with each other never communicated their expectation, and it leads to the breaking up of that relationship. So I would like to throw this back to you again. So why can people really marry themselves and yet they don't love each other?
Yes. Yes. There are people who enter into marriage when they don't love each other. Yet there are different expectations. There are others who have problems. They see this man is, financially stable. And they say, well, I'm getting married to this man, not because I love him, but because he has the money I need. That's why I see someone can get married yet doesn't love the other person, which is true. And if you give it time, love grows. In the start, you may not love the person. You may not love the person completely. Okay. But as you continue, because of the commitment, you have decided to commit yourself. You have decided to care for that person. And because you have the same interest and goals, you have sat down and discussed your interest and goals. So when you commit yourself, you will begin to love this person gradually as you keep going. But in the beginning, you may not love the person, but you love something the person is doing, but you don't love the person.
Well, you see, some years ago, working as a missionary and also a volunteer in the field, I have come in contact with a lot of people that, how will I put it? A lot of people that we get to talk with. And one of my experience and one of the things I see, and I have talked to many women, is that I asked a question one day when we were in the class. We were talking about a relationship, and we were talking to these women that are married, and I asked, how many of you, how did I put the question? I said, how many of you, since you married your husband, the love has changed? How many of you still loved your husband the way you met him the very first time? And none of them respond to that question. And I was surprised because some of them, I said, no, okay, now I remember the direct question I asked them. I asked them, how many of you think you married your husband by mistake? And I saw all their hands up and I was shocked. So the person standing alongside with me was, because I was speaking in English and the other person was translating in Arabic. And I asked him again, did you really translate what I said correctly? And he said, yes. So I repeat again, how many of you think you married your husband by mistake? And all the ladies lift up their hands. And then I later realized something. Then one of the women from the congregation now stood up and said, hey, we understand English too, so we understand what you're saying. So I now realize that there are people who have broken expectations.
Yes.
Broken expectation. That is what leads to divorce, because uncommunicated expectation. Because most people talk about love, they talk about love,
yes,
but actually love does not make up a marriage.
No.
Yesterday, I was talking to a group of young people. I told them that love does not make up a marriage. It's just a fragment of a marriage. Because most people prepare for wedding, but they didn't take time to prepare for their marriage. So there's a lot of after the wedding, they discover that they are fully unprepared for it. So there are lots of broken expectation, because what leads to divorce in a marriage is not really a lack of money. It's not the death of a child, because human beings, we are resilient. We can overcome temptations and trial. But when expectation is cut short, it leads to the breaking up of a lot of relationship. So I would like to I want you to give more input on people who go into marriage expecting so much and they get disappointed.
Yeah, many people enter into marriage having different expectations, and number one is excitement and romance. Two things. Many people are taken by that and not knowing that marriage is not about love. Because if it's about love, romance, many people have a view of saying, I want to be with my husband, send me text, sweet text messages all the time. We move together, we go out for dates, and that's all about marriage, which is not true. Marriage is beyond that. Marriage is about commitment. You've committed yourself to that person, not because sometimes when you're in the early stage, you are taken by the excitement and romance that, sweet moments. You go out for dates, go out and eat together in the restaurant. They, giving gifts. Some people love gifts. So when your husband is not giving you that, you say, well, I feel my husband doesn't love me anymore. So when you start marriage, you start it with excitement and romance. What is in your mind is romance. I want to spend time, quality time with my husband. I want to have intimacy with him. I love quality time. So now the problem comes in. Number one, you must understand that when you get married, there are responsibilities to take care of. In the beginning, what you focus on is excitement, but forgetting that there are responsibilities coming ahead of you, which you must commit yourself. And for instance, you can be working, the woman works and the husband also works. And then you expect the man to send you those sweet text messages every morning, every noontime, every time. And he doesn't do that. You feel like you're not loved. You're chucked, that's the word. My husband, you've chucked me nowadays. Yet love is not, is not the primary reason why you get married. No, it is beyond that. It's beyond that. So when you focus on excitement and romance, you miss it out. Why? There are times your husband may be quiet. He may not be making those fans and comedies and say, I think he's going out with another woman. Why? Because in your mind, what you know that marriage is all about romance and excitement. There's nothing more than that. That's why you find marriages are breaking. There's mistrust. Why? Because a woman got married because he knows that this man is going to spend the whole day with me, is going to go out with me, is going to buy chicken and chips all the time in the weekends, and some of the weekends because of responsibility. In every marriage, there's a vision and goal. If you don't focus on that, you are focused on, romance and excitement, you get problems because that is your expectation in marriage. And if you don't get it, it's a problem.
Okay. You see, before I got married to my wife, one of the things that really helped us was that we sat down a lot of time and we had discussions. We talked about everything. At least, let me say 99.9%, we talked about it. Because most people, the reason why there's breaking up of a relationship and other things is because of, as I said, uncommunicated expectations.
Yeah.
What do you expect out of this union? What are you expecting? What are you? Because so many people don't sit down to talk about their visions, their goal, their target, what they want to achieve. But if you set your heart and you are able to communicate every expectation that you are having, there will be less problem. And the reason, okay, let me throw this out there for our listeners or our viewers that are viewing us. The person you're dating or the person you are with right now, do you really communicate your expectation to them to the fullest? Do you really do that? Did you really communicate your expectation to the fullest? Because if you do that, it will save you a lot of energy and it will save you a lot of pains by the time, because so many people come into a relationship and they are expecting much. Yes. Let me tell you a story of a lady that wants to get married to a young man, and the young man told her that he was working in an oil company, but he never told her the kind of oil. So he never told her the kind of oil. So she, on the wedding day, she realized that he was working. He was working in a oil factory, like this granite oil. The granite oil that produces oil, vegetable oil, kind of. She, in her mind, she thought maybe he was working in a petroleum company or working in a crude oil company, which is not what, which was not rightfully communicated to her. And on that wedding day, she wanted to run off. Because that was a challenge, because the communication was bad and it wasn't clear. So when you are in love with somebody, please make sure that the communication is very clear. And why is there love in it? Because people get married for different reasons. I met a lady, she's 19. The person she got married to was 54. And I asked her, and we were having this discussion. She said, I just married him because I expect him to pay my younger brother's school fees.
Wow.
So she has to sacrifice herself to be with the guy, because what she needed school fees for her brother. So for a younger brother, so that he can get education. So if you look at it, that is what she's expecting out of the marriage. So if I might ask you, in your dating or in your marriage, what are you truly expecting? What do people expect will be what comes out of it?
Yes.
And expectations. So, Pastor, is expectations okay in marriage?
Those expectations sometimes they look good, but they are dangerous. Why? Because if someone does not fulfill that, you feel you want to leave him, because that is the reason why you accepted the person. He said, are you willing to do this for me once you marry me? And sometimes in life, you can face a challenge Maybe you don't have the money to take care of that expectation, and it becomes a problem. The woman says, because you did not meet my expectation, then I don't need you. So marriage, then it becomes a problem in marriage, because if your expectation is not met, then you want to break up. You say, well, I'll find someone who is going to meet my expectation, and if you can't, then I'll go. So many times, young girls do that, and even men. You expected the woman to take care of you, wash your clothes and do every domestic work for you and take care of you. But because there are so many things on her that she can't divide herself and do everything. So if she does a mistake and not meet your expectation, then say, woman, you're despising me. I feel like you don't know why we're here. We're here because you told me that you will take care of me. And right now you don't want to do that. So I feel I'm not interested to live with you again. I think we can divorce. That's why many people divorce, because the expectation is not met. And some people, in the beginning, they don't communicate this clearly to say, well, my expectation is this. And the other person will say 100%, I accept, I will do that. And in the end, you don't do it. Then it becomes a problem as well. Other women said, yes, the man said, he will take care of my family, my mother and the rest. But the man, he said he will build a house for my mom, build a house for them, and take care of my siblings. And right now, he's not doing it. So why should we continue this marriage? We have to break up. Because like a story of a young man, this young man grew up with a lady in the same village, and at the later time they picked interest, and each one of them, they had different expectations. The other one dropped out of school and told the man, if you will be able to pay me in school, then we can marry now, and then at a later time, when we have our first son, then we'll have a break and I go back to school. And the man, at a later time, he was going through hard times, and he said, I can't afford. And the woman said, I'm sorry, you promised that you will do that. And if you are not ready and willing to do that, I'm not ready to continue with this marriage. We have to break up, because you promised you will do that. And why are you not doing? That means you lied to me. You lied to me. And I cannot accept you to lie to me. I am going. I'm out of here. We can break up and divorce. So it's dangerous to have expectations in marriage. If you communicate these expectations, you must be able to balance. Yes, the man said he would do it, but look at the condition right now in the present time. Can he afford it? If he cannot afford, can't you be patient? Because there it calls upon patience. That is calling upon maturity. It's all about being patient and endure. And know, yes, this man said it, or this woman said it, my wife said it, my husband said it, but he's not capable right now to do that. Can't you give him time? He will do it at a later time.
Okay, that's very good. One of the things I still want to chip in is this, because I am cross-culturally married, so expectations are different, because according to the definition in which I give, that love is a decision to commit, to meet the love is a decision to commit to another person without having any other expectation. Because when you come into a relationship full of expectation, if that expectation is not met, the person get disappointed.
Yeah.
So if you ask me as a person, as Mark John, when I got married, I have zero expectation. I talked to my friend. He said, "Why don't you have expectations?" So I don't have expectation, but if my wife does it, I thank her for it. But if she doesn't, if she didn't, if she does not do it, or she's not helping out with anything, I am not disappointed. I am okay by doing it. And at the end of the day, I think we have less problem because I wasn't expecting her to do it. But if she does it, then I say thank you for doing it. So that really helps our relationship. That does not mean we don't talk over issues. We talk. So you see, there's a man who is a friend, and his son wanted to marry a lady from Europe, and he called me to ask me because he knew that my wife is from Europe, and he asked me a question. He said, "What do I think?" I told him something. I said, "First, this is the advice I'm going to give you. Please tell your son to go to her country and live at least 3 months." So that he understand the cultural background of the person is getting married to, because it's very important. Because here in Africa, the man is the chief, and he expects the wife to take the water to the bathroom, to cook for him, to wash his clothes, to do everything. I told him, in the other culture is different. It's different. It's 100% different. So I advise your son goes to the country and learn the culture of that person, so that they will, because at the end of the day, he shouldn't feel disappointed in all his expectation. Because as an African man, you go into a wedding, you have a lot of expectation from the woman.
Yes.
Yeah, she's going to cook. I expect her to cook. I expect her to wash my clothes. I expect her to take my water for shower. I expect her to go to the market. I expect her to wash the children. So your expectation becomes so much that the woman turns, some women feel they are a donkey working for you. So you have that expectation, that expectation you're having, you have to narrow it down and talk it over, because uncommunicated expectation will always lead to a broken relationship.
That's right.
So that is the point I'm trying to make. But my next question to you before we round up this segment is that, does money really matters in marriage?
Well, it's a good question and technical question. In marriage, money is important.
Wait, you see, the reason why I said is money really matters, because there are lots of women.
Yeah.
Because there are lots of women. The target is, can the man take care of me? Can the man take care of me? So that is where the role, because they have this expectation that the man has a good job,
Yes.
is doing everything, so he has money to take care of me. So that is why I'm asking, what is the role of finances in marriage? What are the rules of finances in marriage?
Well, now, money itself is important in marriage, but the way people understand is different. When you enter in marriage and your focus is money, for instance, then it will become a problem, because sometimes someone will run short of money. And if it doesn't give you that money, then it's a problem. You shouldn't go in marriage expecting money. No, you need money, yes, you need it. But you shouldn't go in marriage because you're expecting money, because you'll be disappointed. Money is important, but it determines how you are, the motive you have in marriage. Is it because of money? If it's because of money, then your motive is going to become like a timing bomb.
Okay, a lot of people go into marriage with expectation. Okay, he has a job. He can be able to take care of me. He can be able. So if that fails, if that completely fails, will the lady still be patient to stay with the man, or most of them will leave? Or what do you think will happen in the process?
Well, if the expectation was money,
Yeah.
sometimes the man may not have the money. some, I see majority, when they are patient, their patience, when it runs out, they wait for a period of time, they don't see any change, then they leave. Because they say, I can't continue to suffer. You promised, you said you will do it. And now you're saying you don't have money all the time, you don't have money. How? You have to get the money. Do what it needs to be done and get the money, because I can't wait. Some ladies say, well, I'm from a well-off family and you brought me here to suffer. I am not ready to suffer. So the majority, there are only few people who understand. They go in marriage, they understand sometimes you can get the money, sometimes you won't. They can be patient, but majority I've seen, they begin to misbehave and have, you know, a separate marriage, a secret marriage somewhere. Why? Because they're getting, the person is meeting the expectation, is giving them money. That's why you find somebody has like 4 or 10 boyfriends. If you fail here, then I'll get it here. If you fail here, then I'll get it there. So you find that unfaithfulness, infatuation happens so much in families. Why? Because this person, they has promised to give you money or to take care of you, and majority, what I'll say, it depending on how these couples understand. You may have that expectation, but are you interested of marriage, or you're interested of that money? If you are so much interested with money, then you give up your marriage. You will leave. But if marriage is what you're interested about, then you will be patient and know that today we don't have it, tomorrow we'll get it. You will be patient. But majority, according to what I've seen in many places, the woman may remain there, but she'll get another person on us alongside who will be able to meet our expectations. And that's why you see there's so much problems in families. The man is not there, he travels, and the woman brings another man and begins to cohabit with this man somewhere. Why? Because she wants her expectation to be met in all cost. If it's not met, this marriage is not good for me. I must find someone who is capable. And that's why you find women have so many children with different men. Because this one has failed, I think this one will do it better. You try that one and disappoints you, and you go to the next. So you find majority of men and women give up their marriages because the expectations are not met.
You see, when it comes to finances, one of the things I do, one of the things we did with my wife is because we were able to talk about our finances. And after talking about the finances, we were both, before we got married, and we were open to it. And we were able to, I'm able to let her know. So I now made her the manager of our finances. I made my wife so that she knows that if there's anything lacking at home, she know that okay, that is the money we have. So we do the budgeting and everything, and everybody is open to it. And some people feel. I talk to other people because most of the thing we are discussing here, we're discussing it culturally. Because from the part where we are coming from, because some people, like some men in Africa, doesn't feel their wife should know their salary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything, their wife shouldn't know their income.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they keep it away from her. But in reality, if we have to look at it biblically, because we are talking here, we're from the Bible perspective, there's nothing that you should hide or keep away from your spouse. You should be able to keep it open with your spouse. So because it's very important that if you're bringing somebody into your life, there should be what? Transparency.
Yeah.
That transparency will be able to help you, to guide you into your relationship. That is why the Bible said in the book of Ephesians, it says that do what? Submit to one another. Submit to one another. Is very important that you submit to one another. After I say submit to one another, it now say wife, submit to your husband. But first, I don't want people to look at it from a different perspective, that is only the woman that is supposed to submit. But also the first verse in that place said they should both what? Submit to each other. It's important. Submitting to each other is being open to each other. It's being accountable. Is for you to be able to open and tell her this is this is the amount of money I earn. It can be able to help the family. So money is important in the marriage and in the loving relationship, so that it can be able to provide for the household. But where the problem lies is that is the woman selfish about it? Is this selfish? Is the woman selfish about it, or is the man selfish about it? That is where the problem really lies. So thank you, Pastor Benjamin, for coming to the Family and Love Center and sharing most. I appreciate it. And we still have one more show with you, and we're going to be talking about sex and love again.
Wow.
So we'll be talking about sex in the marriage and also love in the marriage. Thank you so much. Please, I remain Mark John and still your host on Family and Love Center. Please subscribe to our channel and also like, share, and please invite your friend to join us in this conversation. Please leave a comment below on this video, and if you have questions that you want us to discuss about, or a certain topic you want us to discuss about, please let us know and we're going to talk about it. Thank you and God bless you. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, like and share. Please don't forget to click on the notification button. Whenever we upload videos, you will be notified.